I can remember very vividly going on the internet the first time and not finding very much at all and thinking, oh, is this what the hype's all about? Uh, and then slowly feeling my way into the potential of it. Um, and we started Airside in '98, me, Nat Hunter and Alex McLean, and we were one of the first British digital studios, I would say. And there was a recent exhibition at the Barbican called Digital Revolutions, where they gathered a lot of that early work, including some of Airside's work, and kind of said, here's the people who first went out in the digital space and did interesting stuff. And it was a real reunion of the old gang. So late 90s, early noughties, and that was kind of the first dot-com boom and bust. Don't forget the bust, where people actually went, no, the internet doesn't work and it's a stupid waste of time. And I'm going back to reading newspapers and buying books, and I will have nothing to do with this internet stuff. So it's not always been a given, I think, which is quite interesting. But yeah, mid 90s, early 90s, I had experienced the internet a little bit, and then I was working. My first job was 94. I remember my first design job with Swifty, who's a great designer. I was a junior designer for him, and I remember us pitching for websites and stuff there, but it still wasn't mainstream. And then later on, websites and the web became this big thing, and it went boom, 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 and then it went bust again. But we all kind of knew, anyone who'd been part of that first boom, you could see there was no way of stopping it, really. We knew. So then the noughties, I think, was just a process of everyone else realising it. The other thing to remember, of course, is that Apple were a tiny little company in the 90s. They were this kind of outsider company. They were the rogues, the mavericks, and people went, oh, they'll never catch on, and why would you want to use an Apple? And, you know, the people like us, I mean, we always used Apples because we were designers and because we'd fallen in love with the operating system and the usability. But we were regarded as freaks, and, you know, people said, well, they're going to go bust, you won't have any technology to support you. But for me, what Apple did, among many other things, was they put design at the heart of technology, and they said, you know, user experience is important, and if you get it right, it will sell products. And they bet the company on that. And now there's no doubt that Windows wouldn't exist without the Apple operating system, which equally wouldn't exist without them having stolen it from Rank Xerox. But Apple took it to the mainstream, and then everyone went, oh yeah, that's how to do it. And then they did it again with the iPhone and so on. So I'm digressing massively here about digital, forgive me. But the point I guess I want to make is that it was a slow conversion of the whole population between, let us say, the mid-90s and the mid-noughties. And then for the first 5 years of the century, people would come to us and they'd say, I'd like a website, please. I know I need a website. Everyone's telling me I need a website. And we say, okay, great. So what kind of website do you want? And they go, well, I don't know. What kind of website can I have? And we'd say, well, we could do this or that or the other, and how about this even that we hadn't thought of before, but it seems to be suitable for you. And they go, wow, and it would be a very creative and inspiring and innovative time. And then by 2010, say, people will come to you and they say, I want a website, and I want it to be a piece of brochureware with a CMS backend, and I want to be able to have messaging and blah, 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 and here's my social media strategy and so on. And what's happened now is that a website has become another kind of commodity, and a lot of people who should probably know better are saying, you know, pick one. Here's the strategy. Here's your web strategy. So to my mind, what's happened digitally is that there has been this mainstream pickup, and now we are all digital. We are all living in digital space. My dad, he's in his late 70s. He goes online, buys his plane tickets, talks to his mates, you know, all that sort of stuff. He didn't do that 10 years ago. He wouldn't have done it. You know, he didn't see the need for it. Now he does. We have all signed up and we've gone, yes, digital is the way we will live our lives. And that is a massive shift, and it's a continuing shift. But I think that's the post-digital shift, is from before, what is this digital stuff? Do I need it? I'm not sure that I do. To here now, yes, digital has in fact impacted on pretty much every possible interaction that we in the Western world have. It's hard to imagine not having a digital component. And that's a huge shift. And it's a shift that's still happening. And I think that there is the danger in any of these situations is to feel like we've arrived, and we haven't arrived. There is more to come. And I personally think that the next stage of evolution digitally is going beyond the screen, because there's no doubt that people are beginning to recognise that the amount of time we spend in this kind of zone that used to be called cyberspace hypnotized by these devices, doesn't necessarily serve us and isn't necessarily healthy. But that doesn't mean throw the phone away, throw the tablet away. I think what it does mean is integrate that technology in a more meaningful way. And that's why we're seeing smart devices, wearables, Internet of Things, all that sort of stuff. That's a reaction to that and an attempt to evolve that. And that's the Wild West now, which is really exciting. In the same way that we were being asked to invent what a website was from scratch back in the late 90s, we are now in a space where the really exciting creative stuff, where us as designers and creative people can have that freedom without being stomped on by business and other people who are kind of got other agendas, is in that more physical space. I'd say. I think physical digital technology is certainly the most exciting area, because it's not nailed down yet. No one knows. No one has found how to make money out of it. Whereas they are rapidly monetizing the internet at the moment. I mean, the internet has probably been reduced, not entirely, but mostly to a place where we are the engine to make the global digital corporates money. Our digital activity, every YouTube movie we watch, every tweet we make, every pair of shoes we buy, is making a small number of people who live in San Francisco richer and richer every day. And that's not the point of the internet as far as I'm concerned.